water thick down here.
Must be what I felt back at the ward. Wait! You're from the ward? Shit! Maybe Santa's real too.
Yeah, it's not far from here. But the way down collapsed behind us. We're gonna have to find another way out.
isn't looking good.
Something's here. The dead would know they've lost, but they won't lay down without a fight.
Yeah. Hey, you okay?
Not bad shooting, Traveler.
Yeah, I had some practice.
I'll bet. But don't worry. The ward's as safe a place as any. Safer.
So, it's really real. Food, and water, and folks living with some old white guy?
More or less.
Whoa, whoa, let me get you some water.
I'm fine,
Cass!
Ooh, that looks like root rot. I've never seen a case this bad.
I'm fine. I don't know why everyone...
We need to get her to the ward, and quick. The doctor there's her only chance. We'd better get moving, or we lose the light.
Oh dear.
This is Wriggler.
Call me Riggs. I got you, darling. Don't worry, friend. We'll take good care of her. Welcome to Ward 13.
Hey, don't worry. Riggs is right. She'll be fine.
Are you okay?
Just a headache.
Hey, Clementine. Let me get you some water.
I'm fine.
Oh, you're not fine. You need rest.
Bo! He's the ward's mayor. Thinks that puts him in charge of everything and everyone. Listen, I'm gonna check in with Ford, and then I'll get some rest. Okay? I've been through a lot worse, you know.
So, Traveler, your friend will be fine. I'm Bo Ward, and this is Ward 13. You must have come a long way. I mean, the route's dwindling and all, but the road's still a dangerous place. What were you two doing out there? Yeah, well, you'll be safe here for as long as you need, Traveler. I didn't know anybody knew what we were doing out here. Feels kind of nice, actually. Hey, ask around if you need something. Oh, start with Ford. I'm sure he'd like to meet you. Oh, Traveler. How's everything? Hey, I'm just glad we got to you, you know, when we did. You stirred up quite a deadwood nest. I haven't seen that many in one place for a long time. Oh, that was Wally. He gave us a heads up someone was coming. Then Clementine was the one that found you. They got a kind of, a root sense, I guess. And Wally, Wallace, he has a way of seeing things. Always has. Wally's been with the ward since he was just a kid, and his seeing has saved a lot of lives. He's a good kid. Oh, the kind I'm damn grateful I don't, to be honest. He sees like the root. Sees what they see sometimes. The past, the future. Whew. All that knowing. Huh. It's a lot for someone to carry. You should ask him if you want to know more. I guess. I used to guard the old ward some 20 years ago. I helped out here and there, you know, but before Commander Ford passed, she and the founder, they kinda put me in charge. Now, maybe no one else wanted the job, I don't know, but the ward's the only family I've ever known. I'll do whatever it takes to keep these folks safe. Oh, thanks. I don't know, I guess I just take care of myself, eat right, get to sleep early, all that. Yeah, Commander Ford always said a leader can't care for anyone if they don't care for themselves. I'm just trying to live right. I reckon she learned it from the founder. He's been around for ages. Oh, he ain't much for leading himself. Granddaughter, actually. Yeah, the founder wasn't around as much back in the day, but Commander Ellen was like a mother to me. To all of us from the old ward. It just doesn't seem right. I mean, that she's gone before he is. Yeah, but when our last hope fails, another must take its place. She used to say that, too. I couldn't say. Commander used to talk about him like he was dead and gone before I was born. You'd have to ask him yourself, I guess, but he ain't like the rest of us. He's seen a lot. I usually leave storytelling to Reggie. Or if you want some really wild tales, try Mudtooth. Now there's an old-timer who can twist a yarn. Incredible, isn't she? Yeah, no one really understands how she does it, not even her. But the feel in the air after she blasts him like that, it's electric. Like the sun after a storm. She's something special, Traveler. And no small part of how we're as safe as we are. Between me and... Oh, I don't, What? No, it's not. I don't. I mean, I do, but it's not like that. Have you ever met anyone like her, Traveler? Because I haven't. Like, I haven't always been the bravest guy around, you know, but the way she fights for folks, no matter what it takes out of her, it makes me want to do better. I kind of want to make her proud, you know? I guess you could say she's my inspiration, maybe? Oh, but don't tell her I said that, though. Lots of nice folks here. Talk to them, you'll see. Good luck.
You don't talk much about life before the ward. What you did and all.
Oh. It was a hard time, I guess. I done some things I remember.
Hey, you're the newcomer, ain't you? Nora Camarillo. I keep folks alive around here. You know, you're lucky they found you when they did. Your friend was pretty bad. I got her just in time. She's great. A real spitfire, that one. I'd hang on to her if I were you. Like what? Listen, I don't care what you two are. I'm just saying, don't lose it, whatever it is. That girl's tough, all right. But right now, she needs rest. When she's up and about, I'll make sure you know. What you got? What are you trying to say, sunshine? Well, no need for that. You know how a doctor gets good at her craft? That's it. Same way you get good at anything. You learn a thing by doing it over and over again. For me, that means people who need my help. The more people there are suffering, the better I get at healing them. And so my grandfather, he'd been treating folk his whole life, nearly as long as the root's been around. I started assisting Grandpa when I was 5. Dressing wounds, making meds, cutting at the table, you name it. He was. He helped more people in his long life than you and I have ever even met. But how I helped him most was digging through the old hospitals. Even after a century, there's a hell of a lot to find. All of it useful to someone as clever as Grandpa. Tons. The old humans knew a lot about the human body, it turns out. Stuff even Grandpa didn't know. Did you know they used to be able to replace a man's lungs with someone else's? Or put a dead man's liver in someone whose liver didn't work anymore? To think of all the folks Grandpa and I could have saved if we had that kind of know-how. Oh, there was plenty we could use. So much that Grandpa eventually stopped complaining about my scrounging. Most of the basic meds are long gone, but there's still plenty of specialized tools and ingredients there. Stuff no one knows what to do with but me and my grandfather. What they don't got, what I never found once, is a cure for root rot. That's why so many folks died when the root first showed up. Grandpa had to invent a treatment on his own. A treatment, not a cure. He probably wasn't the only one. I'm sure others came to the same solutions independently. But after Grandpa figured it out, he traveled as far as he could and taught it to everyone he met. I don't know where he started, but I reckon every treatment within 100 miles of here is derived directly from his work. You can thank him that your friend is still alive. Came here maybe 10 years back. My ma had died and Grandpa didn't feel safe carting me around the countryside by himself. It turned out good. The city's full of scrounge, and Grandpa made a living selling bandages and meds while treating folks for free. I do the same. He even attended the old commander when she passed. Couldn't do much for her except ease her going. The folks around here thanked him for it. Made us part of the ward and all. Need anything else, Sunshine? Well, all right. All right, then. What else can I do for you? What you need? I'll be here if you need fixing.
Don't ask me, stranger. There's others in town who can help you better.
So many new faces these days. Things must be getting a mite easier out there. Welcome, traveler. I'm Reginald Malone, but my friends call me Reggie. You can too. Saw you come in with Bo and Clementine there. Oh, you can be sure they'll do everything they can for your friend. Ain't the first to come through here needing help. I have been known to tell a story or two. Though old Mudtooth does give me a run for my money. Or did you mean that I collect the stories? Because I do that too. And I'd love to hear your tale, traveler. Oh, now that sounds like the start of a damn good story. What brought you out here? I like you, traveler. You remind me of someone I used to know. Oh, someone who survived. Don't worry. This town has plenty of use for a gun hand, and plenty of guns to help him out. You'll feel right at home. How about your friend? How'd you meet her? So you, owe her a debt? Or maybe you paid it off by getting her here. Hey, what do I know? I tell you what, though. Ain't no logic keeping tabs with people's lives. We look out for each other because we're human, yeah? It's the only way that makes sense to me. The only thing that makes humanity worth being around. Speaking of your friend, I heard she came in with a nasty case of root rot. Yeah, I can understand that. Ain't easy talking about hard times. Yeah, don't push if she ain't ready, yeah? But, don't forget about it either. Could be that telling you what happened is the only thing that can set her free. Well, don't you worry. We've dealt with nastier things here, believe me. I reckon she'll come through just fine. What about you? What do you hope to find out here? You're a good friend, traveler. I hope you stick around. This town could use folks like you. So, now I've got a measure of you. Is there anything I can do for you? If you got scrap, I got you covered. Take care now, traveler.
What? Hey, get away from my stew! Oh, it's you. Oh, nonsense. I'm sure you had a reason. Mi casa et tu, Brute. And all that. So, what can old Mudtooth do for you, huh? This old mudder might have an answer or two for you. Quite a bit, stranger. The name's Mudtooth. And ain't nobody been around longer or seen more than I have. Except maybe old Ford, of course. But that old mudder cheats. Anyway, he hardly tells any of his stories. Only 3 reasons why folks come to see me. And that's my stories or my stew. Yeah. So, young'un, what'll it be? Town, you call it. Back in my day, a place like this wouldn't be considered much more than a camp or a bivouac. You might call it. Nah, this ain't no town. Not yet. But it is a fine place to set up kip. I lived by myself for years, see? Had myself what you calls it, a hockapatopter. That thing could fly to the moon and back. It could. Anywho, I was living by myself when my boy Brabus showed up saying we should move on. Told me it wasn't safe for me to be living like I've been living no more. He told me about this place. Got some nice people here. Took some getting used to, being around folks again. Well, Brabus, he's my son. 'Twere his idea to come join this little shanty town. Not a bad idea it was, neither. He's over yonder, at the shooting range, if you're looking to find him. Not much of a talker, though, that one. Guess he didn't get his old man's gift for gab, eh? That so? Huh. Did I tell you about the stories yet? That one too, eh? Well, that's it, ain't it? My stories and my stew. Listen, you sure I said there were 3 reasons? 'Cause there's only 2, and that's certain. Huh. Only 2 reasons folks come to see old Mudtooth, and you know both of them. I'm pretty sure your memory's slipping. You bet your apple I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences what you wouldn't believe. Now, where to start? I do miss the days when you could find the stuff the old world used to make. Canned foods, spiced chocolates, electronical music boxes. Oh, found this old can of what's-it once. As in, we literally did not know what was in it. The can weren't open, but the label had long rubbed off. Finding that was like all our birthdays at the same time. That can must have been 100 years old, banged up and bloated. Could have been anything in there. So, my boys did what any good family would do. They dared me to drink it. Well, I ain't one to back down from something stupid. So, I grabbed the can and said something sensually flattering about their mamas. Then, I popped the top. Woohoo! Damn stuff hissed and fizzled like some kind of brown sludge demon. Smelled like one, too. I chugged the whole damn thing. The thick goop tasted like scented sewer water. Burned my brain like a chili pepper. I nearly puked with each swallow, but we're gonna give them the satisfaction. When I threw the can aside, the boys cheered. I opened my mouth, flashed them a smug smile, and my teeth was all stained the darkest mud brown you ever seen. They stayed that way for at least a month. And that's where I got my name. Let me see here. Ho! There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? It don't matter. This old man sees everything. And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors, stretching its threads every which way. And this watcher man sits at the center. And he don't just watch. He makes. Where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Oh, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this earth of ours is just one door in a dozen hundred. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants some place to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world. This is 100% true. Did I tell you I once sailed across that ocean to that old rusted tower? It was after that wanderer came through here and cleared out the storm. Old Mudtooth's crazy, you know, but I I ain't stupid. I tell you, I saw things down there that you ain't never seen in your life. Down there in that rusted place was just machinery and roots twisting every which way, like the root themselves had built it. But they didn't. No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. You can see it plastered all over, and it was built by humans. By the folks Ford himself used to serve, if you can believe that. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electronicals they got down there are the same damn things you'll find in old Ward 10 and 3. And that place, I know he found it. He's the founder, after all. What were they up to down there? Now, that's the question. I heard some answers myself, but I don't know if I believe them. There's a story for another time. Here's a good one. I ever tell you the secret behind my stew? Well, I ain't gonna. But I will tell you how it came to be, yeah? The original recipe comes from my ma, of course. But that ain't the end of the story. My ma made a fine stew, but it weren't nothing to tell tales about. Not until the day me and the Crazy Eight got ourselves trapped in one of them old, medieval, meditating... We was trapped in one of them medicinal compounds, full of pharmaceuticals and whatever you call them. And I had nothing but a dead coney and an onion on my belt, which weren't good for much, but were the style at the time. So we scrounged for ingredients. Well, them hospitalities ain't no good for food, but they do have some pretty mean spices lying around if you know what you're doing, which I do. That night was the best stew any of us ever had in our lives. Kept us going for days, until finally the dead wood outside got bored and took off. And that, friend, is the same stew I make today. I even use the same ingredients as them back in the day medicinals. Better even. Be sure to let me know if you do. Why, sure, but it ain't ready just yet. The lunch rush today was something fierce, I tell you. But I'll have some for you quicker than you can say Crazy Eight. Well, maybe not that quick. I done already said it, didn't I? Just come back in a while, I'll be sure to save you a bowl. Be sure to come back for some stew.
This is not up for discussion, Clementine. You're staying, and that's final.
I don't remember asking for your permission.
Watch your tone, young lady.
Excuse me? I'm 130...
We'll talk about this later.
Out of my way.
Whoa, what have we here? Ah, the Traveler, of course. Wallace said yes, right on time. Sorry you had to see that. But then again, you've been around. I'm sure you know. Families fight. Andrew Ford. Good to make your acquaintance. In the flesh. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions, and I've got a favor to ask. So let's get to it. You first. That's a longer story than I can indulge right now. Let's keep it to this. You know how some things you drink can make you drunk? And some things you eat can make you sick or sleepy? Well, other things do this. It's a big world out there. Huh. Not my way. And you want to be careful what you wish for, traveler. Not you precisely, as in name, rank, serial number. But I knew someone was coming. Our young Wallace told me. Wallace? He's a special kid. A lot like somebody I used to know. She had bad dreams too. Dreams about things that hadn't yet come to pass. It's more like he can see really far into the present. Sometimes. Quite a few characters around here, I'll warrant you that. Arguing's not the same as fighting. Clem and I have known each other longer than anyone else here. That's a lot of water to put under a narrow bridge. Looks can be deceiving. In fact, she's 132 years old. Not quite. Clementine spent a long time away, keeping strange company. Something like that will change you. Compared to who? Vo might be young, but he knows the run of a ward. Learned from the best. He was orphaned, just a kid. Ward 13 sort of adopted him. Ran security when he got old enough. Did a damn good job of it. Only made sense to put him in charge once we started up here. Don't think there's a soul in town has lost as much as Riggs. Don't know how that man gets up out of bed every day. But he does, and we're damn thankful. Want some intel, eh? Oh, nothing too dangerous. I've got to marshal my resources, and then we'll get into it in earnest. All right, traveler. Now that you've shot your shot, here's mine. I need an able young scrap